One day, I hope to fly you there.
Air credits tell him that you need that. Air credits tell him that you need that.
What my name is, scholar not in Cambridge. Retweet your favorite.
Hey, everybody. We're getting better at the intro. We're not 100% there yet. Let's bring the weird gaming music back. Oh, hang on. Too much gaming music. That's huge. That's huge. What's going on here? Hold up. Somebody tell me if that's like way too quiet or way too loud or whatever. Why are you huge, display capture? Display capture 2? Now you're tiny. Good hustle, but yeah. That. Had this all set up nice. Now where do we find ourselves? Wrong display. But I like your imagination. There we go. Okay. Welcome. Streamplace Now. Number 000001. Here we go. We've got 2 cameras now. I'm probably not going to use both of them all the time, but I got 2 cameras and the green screen is such that it works. So, yeah, I mean, I can like have a nice conversation with myself, I suppose. So here's what I'm thinking we're going to do today. Let's move. Get the volume all worked out here. Testing. Here's what I'm thinking. Last time we did this cool thing where we made an overlay and we put it on top of the screen. And it was all humorous. I couldn't program because there was stuff on top of me. But for me, it really stank because I had to program. I was looking at the OBS preview for the stream that I was working on. And it was really hard to move the mouse. It was really hard to switch windows. What's really necessary is that we take things that aren't Streamplace out of the loop entirely. So I worked something out. Let's take a look at it. It's called Floating Hangout. I built it so I could do job interviews with a Google Hangout suspended up in the corner of the screen. Oh, my hotkeys aren't working. That's strange. Slate, are you running? No, Slate was not running. That's strange. Here we are. Cool. So let's get rid of that Eli for a minute. What I have here, I refactored this slightly. First, let's boot up that overlay that we were working on last time, which is in here. SP overlay. npm run start. And here we are. Here's this thing, that thing running in a Chrome window. Oh my goodness, that washes me out entirely. Let's switch cameras. Yeah, that looks better. Put me over there. Sure. Cool. And, but this was, not so yeah, running this in the OBS preview is no good at all. So but let's combine these 2 things. So I set up this little floating hangout deal, which just makes a full screen Electron window, which is to say it's Electron is a genericized version of Google Chrome. It's like you can run your own kind of Google Chrome that does anything. And what I'm about to do is set that up as a full screen overlay. It takes over my entire screen, and we can put cool stuff in front of me. So it's only in development now, so I run this. And there we are. Yes. So to y'all that were watching last time, this should probably look about the same. But to me, this looks way, way, way better because it's actually happening on my screen in front of me. If you're looking really closely, you can see this happening because my mouse... Oh, it's not capturing my mouse, actually. Let's fix that right quick. Yeah, there we go. You'll notice my mouse is actually over the overlay now, on top of it rather than under it, which is good. It's going to give me a lot more control. I actually have hotkeys set up so I can like move this thing if need be, like drag it around on my screen. But this is really cool because this is something I think I can actually deliver to, like, this is going to be a Streamplace app people can install and just like put overlays on top of their computer. There's a lot to get to that point. I'm gonna have to make this work on, specifically I'm gonna have to make this work on Windows properly before that can happen, but we'll get there. And I'm excited about it. So that's cool. What else is new? Not too much. I spent some time getting... we've got Twitter output now. I haven't codified it into Streamplace yet, but I got all the commands together to send it to Periscope. Twitter output's harder than everything else because Periscope's designed for extremely low latency streaming, and it's relatively low quality because of that. Very low bit rate and things of that nature. So I had to do more transcoding of the video. It's actually super, if you happen to be watching me on Twitter right now, it's super low quality. I encourage you to go to like any other platform. YouTube's probably the best. But it's there, and that's what's important. And people is building the brand, right? People get in the habit, come and visit me on my thing when it pops up live. Cool. So let's work on the overlay some more. I'm really happy with how far with this chaos that we set up last time. I'm super happy. I was running around the Streamplace offices yelling about how excited I was about getting this. In order to getting this overlay working properly, I had to tell this app is actually pretending to be a screensaver right now. That's the only way you can do. If you look at the top of the screen here, you see these colored boxes are showing up on top of the taskbar or the title bar or whatever this is called. The only way Mac allows you to do that is if you say, "Oh no, I'm put me at screensaver level, please." That's what I am. So I guess Streamplace overlays are technically screensavers now. All right, let's get out of this. So let's do some more things. Let's clean this up a little bit. My goodness, this is not fit for actual use here. So open all this up in VS Code. And we will go to SP overlay, app.js. And the chat text can stay. Let's go ahead and comment pretty much everything else. Actually, I like the cranky in the lower left. Where's that one? I think that's this. That cranky can stay around. Everybody else. Oops. Okay, that is I can work with that. That's a little bit better. Cool. So I spent a lot of time thinking about what's next for this. A lot of the text and stuff is going to have to be completely refactored to be cross-platform consistent. Right now, it's like OS X is rendering. It's what Google Chrome and OS X thinks this text looks like, but that's going to be super inconsistent when I bring it to React Native and to video and to video compositing and stuff like that. So I'm not really, so I'm not worried about that. What I am thinking about is animations, which I think I can make consistent across platforms. Here's what I'm thinking. We're going to sort of copy CS. So our objective for today, I guess, is going to be this cranky here. I want him to walk across the bottom of the screen and turn around and walk back across the bottom of the screen and just kind of go back and forth like that. And we can do that with a couple things. I haven't decided what exactly the interface for defining an animation layer is going to look like. But what I do know is we already have this timeline thing, which was really, I mean, we put that together in 5 seconds last episode. But I think it's actually going to be enough to define keyframes, basically. So we're just going to probably need an intermediate layer of some kind. So let's take Cranky, let's put him in a timeline. And put him in the timeline twice. And his top, scale is probably, I think things like scale, I think we need to define a new primitive that's like a transformation layer. Which can have the same stuff in it, but will let us define like Cranky here and Cranky on the other side of the screen. But for now, let's just figure out where that is. So it's like 1920 minus his width. He's like a few hundred pixels. Okay. All right, not far enough. 13, 15, 16, 20. Yeah, not bad. Let's go to 1670. $16.50. All right, cool. So that's way too fast if he's going to be walking back and forth there and there. So let's add some stuff to timeline here. Specifically, I need a property for 250 milliseconds, way too fast. But that can be the default. Let's see. These are default props, right? Static default props. What do we want to call that? The thing is, I don't even think this should be a property of timeline, which might beg the question of what timeline is exactly, but it seems like the things within it should be able to define their duration. Let's look at the, this is going to be some riveting content here. Let's go look at the, web animation documentation. Wow, white screens wash me way out. Let's just turn the brightness on the monitor way down. Sure. This is a giant 5K iMac in front of me. That's like when it's a white screen and the brightness is turned all the way up. It doesn't matter all these stage lights I got around me. It's the brightest light in the room by far. Mac Cam. Sure. That's better. Web animation. Basically, I want to copy this and implement a subset of it in a multi-platform way. I'm sure it already exists, right? I'm sure, like, let's just Google web animation React Native. It might well be supported natively. That's a transition. JS style animations based on React component state. Okay. Seems promising. React motion. A spring that solves your animation problems. I don't know what a spring is, but that seems promising. Yeah, this looks like exactly what I'd want. What's a spring? All right. Let's not overcomplicate things. So this is called default props. Find out in a moment. Call this tick interval 250, and then this should just work if I go here. This props tick interval. I can't tell if it worked. It did. Great. Very good. Yeah, 2.5 seconds seems like the right amount of time for him to go back and forth. So we want to define animation steps for him. So after he gets over here, he should walk back this way. After he gets over here. So let's just do some regular keyframes. It's been a while since I've done these. The thing is, I need to define these. How do you do style? How do you do keyframes with styled components? Keyframes, issue 14. Animation, they just work. How do you define them? Oh, keyframes is a thing in styled components, I guess. This is the way to do it, is to define it with styled components, and then if it doesn't work in React Native or something. Oh, Cranky's going behind myself there. Let's move him back to the did I not even change that? 12. Yeah, much better. Okay. Cool. So, what do I want here? I want like an abstracted way. The thing I know I want, and this could take a lot of different forms. The thing I know I want is a declarative syntax for defining Cranky walking back and forth across here. So let's just write what that could look like and then implement it if we like it. So, sure. Let's have him start at the left here. Animation. Did that end up working? No, actually. Oh, tick interval. I like tick duration more than that. Cool. So the animation is a property of, we just need to define keyframes. And I guess everything in a timeline is a keyframe, right? No, because this is the same element. This works. It almost needs to be like the same. I'm curious if React sees these. I'm gonna do some logging here. I'm curious if React sees these as the same. I think React's going to be smart enough to just change the properties here and not remount the image, but let's find out if I'm right about that. Image.js. So, oh wow, this doesn't even have a component will mount. So for fun, what's the thing actually moving here? It's this layer. A layer is a div. Yeah. Let's put class name. This isn't right at all, but class name and animation layer. Let's just slap a transition on this to see if that will work. Animation layer. The thing being changed is its left property. Left 2.5 SEs. Yeah, it worked. That's just us throwing CSS transitions at the problem as opposed to actually defining a animation framework within Streamplace overlay. But hey, that looks pretty good to me. So, okay. Here's what is true. Here's what's true. A timeline defines a set of keyframes, and everything inside a timeline is a keyframe. And we're just going to use layers to represent those, just like you'd use like divs or something in regular JavaScript to represent that. And so all of the like scale and everything, this actually is fine because that's exactly where I want that to live. All right, cool. So that works, but we can't do it that way because we want it to be more cross-platform than just throwing CSS at the problem. We need to define a declarative framework for defining animations and then implement it in, I mean, there might be some CSS involved, but, you know, later. So this is a keyframe. This is the same layer. It would be really nice to have actual keys in this thing, right? Should we just have it assume it's the same key every time? I don't know. Think about that later. So what do we want? I think we actually have a, well, let's just get him walking forwards and backwards first. I think there's actually going to be 4 keyframes here because he needs to get all the way across, flip, walk all the way back, flip, come back. So that is what will be needed eventually, and we'll need different durations of keyframes. For now, I'll consider it a victory if we can just define a syntax for him walking forward, and then walking backward. Okay. So all that should take is here's my confusion now. We need to put on this layer thing. The way CSS handles this is I would just put like an easing. What do we want to be able to define like tweening for? I guess these layers. It would be nice if you could just do this and then just say like ease. Let's copy CSS's terminology for that. Animation. What is this? Shared keyframe list? Must be new because it 404 is in the MDN documentation. The heck? Wow. Mysterious. It really sounds like something I could... It sounds up my alley. Keyframe effect. Huh. Well, this is what we need to learn. Whoa. Is this a JavaScript syntax for defining animations, like the things that would usually be in CSS? Fill forwards. Web animations working draft. This is going to be such a big stream. I'm going to get so many viewers. We're reading the web animation spec. Good television. Tell me what this is. Model for synchronizing and timing of changes to the presentation of a web page. Also defines an API for interacting with this model, and it's expected that further specifications will define declarative means for exposing these features. Cool, so you're not done yet. So you've come up with a solution to my problem, but you're not done yet. the W3C. Spec. Wait, if that's the web animation, it's confusing. This sure does sound like what I want. This sure sounds like what I want to build a front end to. I think the thing to do is keep this in mind and then do a crappy CSS implementation of it. And then when this gets good, we will port it to that without changing what we're exposing here. Neat. That makes sense. So these are now keyframes. So I guess the tweening is defined in the timeline. I think that's good because then even if I wanted the tweening to be different, I could put timelines in there separately, right? Or something like that. Okay, so sure. Timeline, timing function ease. What are those called in the CSS transitions API? I think it's a timing function. Yeah, a transition timing function. Okay. Sure. And then in layer here. Well, yeah, okay. So this is where I'm going to have to start talking about context because I need to pass this down somehow. Yeah, or I can just pass it as a prop. What's the default? Is there a transition timing function steps for... Hey, Shoko. Shoko's here, everybody. Yeah. So the trick is I want to define the timing function in the timeline, but I want... it needs to be implemented in the layer. So default props, timeline, tick duration, timing function. Is there a none value for timing functions? Unset. And then in this, I will say it should ease. All right, cool. So right now, our render function just returns the child. How can I pass different properties to this? Doesn't it already have properties? Isn't it already like a instantiated React thingy? I'm gonna have to use context at some point. React's context feature at some point. I kind of don't want to do it yet. How do I... This thing's weird. What is this? This is... This props children business is like one of these. And that's already... What is this actually outside of JSX world? It's a call to React create element. which is getting passed. I don't think I can. I think that thing already got its properties. I don't think I get to control them, which is kind of a pain. React pass different properties to children. Transferring props. Yeah. Most of the time you should explicitly. Props children. Manual transfer. Transferring with the operator, consuming and transferring the same prop. Yeah, the thing is my children have already been created for me, so I don't think I get to do that. Right, because actually when you define this, these things get rendered first. Like the image gets rendered and then passed to the layer, and the layer gets passed to the timeline, and so on. Hi, Shoko. Can we go Shoko Cam? Let's see if we can Shoko Cam. Hold up. Hold up. Logitech. Yeah, here we go. Shoko. That was Shoko Cam. She's hanging out. All right. So context, is it going to be context for passing these things up and down? It seems like a huge pain, and it seems like I'm missing an obvious way to solve this problem, honestly. What if I, here's a Shoko tail. This is cool. Shoko, you're screwing up my chroma key effect. Hey, Shoko. What's going on, huh? Shoko, how am I going to handle passing this one? I know you want me to learn on my own. You don't just want to give me all of the answers to the problem, Shoko, but I know you know the right way to solve this. And frankly, it's time for you to share. Shoko on my laptop. It's probably knocking me off of various platforms right now. It's all very precariously balanced. I think there's at least one tab that if Shoko closes, I think I'm no longer live on Facebook. Yeah, I could like pass React link. Shoko just turned off my laptop. I think that means I'm going off of Facebook, but I'm just not going to worry about it. I'm still live somewhere. This isn't what I want at all. This is hard to do with React. Does that mean I'm doing something wrong here? I don't think so. This does seem correctly defined to me. Timing function. I don't know. Let's look at an animation framework and how they. What's that one HTML5 animation framework? Yeah, green sock. Can't believe I didn't remember that off the top of my head. Green sock tweening. Tween light. See, I like if I was just targeting one platform, I think I have to do stuff myself, right? Like if I was just targeting one platform, I could just use something like this, but I want it to work in React Native and stuff too. Tween light 2. All right, how does this work? Tweening one or more properties of any object over time. Okay, that makes sense. So that's like the base unit of one animation thingy is like Cranky's here, and we want to change one of his properties to be over here over a duration of a time. That's like one unit of animation. Yeah. So we define things that happen. All right, let's just do it. Maybe that provides a hint that maybe the fact it's so hard to get this information in the right place indicates that I should just start with it in the right place. So let's just say timing function ease on the layers here. And then, yeah, okay, this will get results really fast anyway, because now I can just say, let's see, when you receive transition and then the duration. So let's cut that out. Also, maybe. Transition all 2.5 seconds. Props. Timing function. Dollar signs are important. Okay. So we want to define like separate overlapping animation thingies here. So he can do a quick flip and start moving, and then a quick flip and move the other way. Yeah, this is actually a scale thingy. I need to make scale X and scale Y. And over here, I think it should be negative 0.5. He's gonna get huge for a second here before I fix this. Fun. Yeah, as I said, huge. And then, do I even want to allow scale? That didn't work at all. Huh. Oh. I just need default props here. It can be like that, and then... What? Bye. Oh, okay, I gotta move him over because he's scaled. But he is, I think he is walking the right direction. Yeah, he just need a little more left here. Like more than none. Interesting. Well, we're on the right track. Yeah, there we go. That looks pretty good. So this is again... Yeah, so if I just define if I give layers durations, then I can just define 4 keyframes in between all of that stuff, right? Yeah, the trick is you need to only have... This is how, like... Do I have Final Cut? The trick is I want to only define keyframes for certain properties at certain times. So, like, how the hell do I amalgamate that into, like, one coherent state for the renderer? Because what I want to have... Thanks, Yana. What I want to have is 4 keyframes. Of what is the question, right? Like, it needs to almost override the properties. Let's just, like, what could this look like? I kind of like timeline as a thing. Milliseconds. And then because the thing to render is going to be, all right, let's write all this down. So it's like here. So it doesn't yell at me about the formatting. Ah, I can't see anything. Oh no, I haven't fixed the error problem yet. Wait. Okay, yeah, there we go. I can move it. Yes, getting there. And this is still gonna be errors here. Const keyframes style.div. I don't even think I have style components here. Great. Cool. keyframe, and then we want like scale X. What do you mean duration? These are frames. They don't have duration. Duration in the timeline though, right? So, okay, hang on. This makes sense. This makes sense. So scale X, so we start out like this. And this is a duration. Is duration the right word? Because this is like where they are in the timeline, right? Like boom, here's the timeline. And as he goes across. And these are the keyframes. And key is a key emoji, right? Yeah, cool. So there's a keyframe, there's a keyframe, there's a keyframe. It's going to be like this, kind of. So, and this one is the starting position. And this is the flip. He has completed the flip at this point. And then this is him walking across. Oh, but wait, hang on. We need more because this is him walking back, and then we loop. So I guess let's start by just listing the variables at each of these points, right? And is duration the right? It's not a duration of this. It's the it's the point on the timeline, right? Like, what is the name for identifying one of these? So time almost would be the better. So time 0. So his starting position is actually, his starting position isn't the lower left corner because he shouldn't be. I want a really quick flip. So let's actually say his starting position is like hereabouts, right? Like as soon as, like I want the flip to be completed. Oh man, I picked a complicated thing to implement right away. So like time zero. Sure. And so, okay, yeah, let's do so he starts there, 2500, he is, and we should only need to update the properties that have changed. Sure. Cool. So, after 2.5 seconds, he's at the other side. His left is that. But nothing else has changed. He's just walking across. And then we flip him. That takes 200 milliseconds. And the only thing that changes is his scale X. which is now, actually it starts at 0.5, and then here it's negative 0.5, and then he walks all the way back 2.5 more seconds, so that's 27 plus 25, 52. And that's to bring him back to the starting left. And then there's the other flip, which takes 200 more milliseconds, so 5400. And that's to get his scale X back. Okay, well this is a lot less fun than last time, but I think this is how I want to define it. And the trick here is to sort of shine, I don't know if this analogy works, but I want to imagine shining a flashlight through this, and we change the properties as it goes through. It's like a stack. It's like the keyframes get applied on top of each other. And this doesn't even get into tweening. And what do these contain? This isn't even like the thing. I'm just defining an XML keyframe interface. There's no what is React about this? React is XML, so I feel like I should be able to represent this properly. What if I passed a component to all these? Well, all I did is define a bunch of transformations of a layer. The layer could be anything. The layer could be literally anything, including like somebody else's stream or something. Okay. Yeah, speaking of that, I should do that next week, is get like other people's faces as one of the things that can be transitioned here. So yeah, like the children of this need to be consistent. Choco, I need you to not turn off my laptop. Oh, you already did. Shoko's batting at the Cranky Kong on the screen. For those just joining us, what are we up to? So the thing I'm developing, Streamplace, is something I've been working on for 2 years. It's a toolkit for doing lots of awesome stuff, wild stuff with live video that people haven't been able to do until relatively recently. Right now, what I've got a lot of this tech in different boxes up in the cloud, all servers and closets all over the place. There's the stuff, but I haven't yet built an interface for just like a regular old front-end dev to pick up my work and do interesting stuff with live video streams. So that's what I'm defining right now. This is still complex to some of you that are probably watching on Facebook or whatever, but this is, in the scheme of things, a relatively simple way to define the layouts and animations and stuff of a Streamplace stream. And then once somebody does that, I can take that from them and broadcast it all over the world, just like I'm doing right now. And in order to do that, we got to decide. We got to just sort of decide on a shared language for representing what a Streamplace stream looks like. And this is going to go through lots of iterations. I like this so far for defining animations of stuff, but how do I bind that to like Cranky Kong here, going back and forth across the screen? Everybody say hi to Shoko again. Hey, Shoko. Whoa. Hey, Shoko. Shoko. Oh, man, it's Shoko. Mm-hmm. Chroma key algorithm has to work really hard when Shoko's tail goes in front of it. Lots of different strands of fur to analyze. So these are all like keyframes of the same layer. So maybe we just define the layer first, which is just, it's just the image actually. I want to be able to represent this all in a single XML tree, but that might require me to do like reference it externally somehow. All right, let's compromise for now. Because there might be a better way to do this. However, it's not coming to me as such. We're just going to define the same thing 4 times. Yeah. Okay. Get out of here. Sure. And keyframe's actually just going to be a layer for now. Okay. He's kind of dancing across the bottom there. So now I think we will need context because the timeline needs to know about all the keyframes to determine what the full set of variables should be. I need logging here. How did I let's see. Electron developer tools. Wow, that's a lot of errors. Interesting. Somebody's clear interval isn't getting set properly. Detach, please. Alright, now maximize that. Disable clicks. Cool. Timeline is... I'm just gonna have to switch between windows in this context. Wait, where's that thing I wanted? Now I can't interact with it at all. What's happening? Oh, I'm pressing the wrong key is what? That's important to not do. Does this go away whenever I reload? I might need to program that into my... No, it stays there. Okay, that's good. Let's make it a little bigger for the stream. Cool. And there's that test. So... I gotta look at, so let chill. I gotta look at the properties of all of my children. It's almost like I need to define the contents of the frame as the element in the first keyframe. Huh. Hang on. That's interesting. It will look slightly strange, but that might be okay. So that would look like this. Oh, interesting. It's just children. It's just another property, right? And the proper and we don't need to duplicate properties that don't change. Oh, cool. Okay, wow. I just had to stare at it for a while. That okay. So the normal use case here, because children is just a property. So if and none of these properties, like you don't have to put left again if it doesn't change. You don't have to put top again. Top's only defined here once because it never changes. And children is just one of those. So if the children don't change, it just stays like that. And if the children do change, you can change the children right there. Huh. Okay. Yeah. Wait, why did this work? I didn't implement that yet. I described a good idea. I didn't do it yet, though. Computer, it shouldn't be working. Why is he there? My Alexa heard me saying the computer or something and told me the weather. Oh, because of this stuff. That's why it's still here. Okay, now you should be there for a second, and you're gone. Cool. You've got a neat Mac OS glitch shadow there still, though, so that's pretty rad, I guess. Okay. Hi, what? You came from the top of the screen. That's a fun bug. Okay. Oh, I'm not over how cool that is. Tick duration. Okay, most of this needs to go away. Most of this is bad and needs to go away now. Specifically. Let's start by just... the time updates will happen... So I'm going to start by operating under the assumption that that keyframes aren't changing dynamically at this point. I just don't even want to think about how to implement that. Okay, let's start by, can I get at my children's properties? Children, for each. Yep. And it's exactly what I would want it to be. Cool. And if a property is defined for a given interval, so, okay, so first things, hang on, what happens between these? Yeah, and then it swaps right back. Okay. So let's just log what the properties should be at any point. And we can like modulus to the time of the last thing in it. Okay, so to start with, total duration. Down here. Last child.time. And And for now, I'm just going to do like a no-op set state every 100 milliseconds to push it along if need be. Every 250 milliseconds. Yeah, it's fun. Cranky, what's going on here? And just get rid of this index thing. Or no, wait, this will work. This will work. Well, actually, do time update. And started. When I mount, I have to this set state start time date.now. And then the index is I don't know why I would do this down here and not in the render function. Let's just do it. I mean, come on. Let's just do it in the render function. Yeah. Total duration. Return null, please. It's enough of Cranky distracting me there. Alright. But the total duration's getting logged a lot? No. Props.time. That working? Yes. Okay. And then current duration. There's a lot of declarations. I'll probably clean it up after it works. Date.now minus this state start time mod. I don't know what the precedence is here. Prettier will probably take care of it, but mod total duration. Duration, I keep using the word duration, it's not right, it's just time. All right, and this number should reset when it gets to 50 whatever. Cool. It's kind of inelegant, but it'll work for now. Then now we need to assemble all of the properties based on the current duration, and the properties are like a stack. It's just the properties for any given point are keyframe, 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 keyframe. Squish them all together. Okay, that makes sense, I think. So okay, this is cool. So const props. I'm gonna do a regular. I want to break out of this loop early, so the children for child of children, const child of children. If current duration is greater than child props time break, we are done. Yeah, otherwise let's do this immutable style. Props child.props. And then what, smart guy? Then I think we actually need to like have our own layer here. Yeah. Is this just gonna work? Is this just gonna work? I'm not saying it's gonna work. What about the didn't work. Didn't tell me anything. Sad. Sad times. Okay, so that's not enough. Here. Object, keys, ret, props. Or just props, I guess. It's only getting scale X and scale Y. Less than. Not greater than. Less than. Yeah? Oh, hey, whoa, there he is. Okay, that's not exactly what I was looking for, but it's in the right ballpark, certainly. Oh, wait, but yeah, I didn't, this is all, the transitions are only happening here. Forget this for a second. Are the keyframes showing up properly? Kinda. Did I define them right? Here, just what are the props at one time here? Oh, scale X1. That should never be true. Where's that coming from? Oh, it's a default prop of a layer. Yeah, forget that. That was a terrible idea. Oh, interesting. So I need to shoot. That's correct. That's showing what I put there. But I need to define the scale is flipping him properly, but yeah, I need to change the transform origin also so he flips the way we would expect. Also, is this right? And then we need to define the proper timing function at any given point. This is going to be hard. I almost would rather do this animation completely manually rather than leaning on trying to get the CSS right. I'd rather just do a request animation frame. For something like this is a product designed to run on powerful computers with video cards. Because otherwise I need to... Yeah, no, that's super hacky. The other way to do it would be to lean on CSS transitions and prior to every one of these keyframes, set his transition property for that for that action to the appropriate duration. That's not that bad. The hacky part is I have to do a double render. I have to do like a pre-animation render and then a post. Well, okay. So hang on. All of this ends up being like layer is how this is happening, and it's when it gets new properties that I would need to do this. Yeah. No, I would much sooner handle the animations right here. That feels right. That feels idiomatic. And this is where I implement tweening, starting with one property. Let's just make it work with left right now. And I need like a next, right? I need like a now and a next for time when I get new properties. I know what I want to do. It's just tricky. It's a hard thing to implement. Basically, this layer needs to look at its previous state, its current state, and I'm getting a little lost in. So when I define some keyframes, like where do the tweens happen, right? So here's my starting keyframe, and then here's my second one, and this defines a tween for the left property only, between 0 milliseconds and 2500 milliseconds. And then this one on line 28 defines a tween from 0 milliseconds. This is going to be easier if I just write something that can like express to me what all the tweens should be in this entire animation, which we can do right away as soon as we're mounting, because I'm not worrying about, we'll make this all dynamic later. I don't even want to think about that. Right now, you define animations once. Don't go and change them later. I'll be very cross with you. Okay. Okay. We look at all of our children. And this is a really fun data structure problem. I should like give this as a test to my students. So let's like write a unit test for this. So given a list of children, it's always not correct to make flip these, people can see what I'm doing. Whoa. There we go. Okay. Overlay. And we're just going to make a utility thing here for determining stuff. We'll call this touch animation helper.js. And we're going to write a test for it. Touch animation helper.spec.js. Boom. Split pane. Boom. It opened the same thing twice. All right. So what does this file do? Describe get tweens and it should calculate tweens. Const input, and this is going to be children. So let's just do like a two property thing here. And it's going to look like this. Props. Let's do a helper to define this as tersely as possible. Const propsify. Things. Takes things and returns things.map thing props thing. All right, cool. Propsify. So let's do left and top. That should be easy to remember. So we're gonna start left 0, top time 0, left 0, top 0, and then once every second we'll go whoosh, whoosh, we'll go left, and then once every 2 seconds we'll go top. So okay. And then time is 1 second, and we've gone 100 pixels left. Let's make them not, I don't know. And then time is 2 seconds, and we've gone 100 pixels from the top. And time is, no, a second and a half, we've gone 100 pixels from the top. 2 seconds, yeah, and then after 2 seconds we've gone 100 pixels from the top, and then after 3 seconds, which is what do I want to express here? Goodness. Wah, 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 wah. One, real simple. 4 corners of the screen. Wah, 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 wah. 4 keyframes. Let's start with that, and we'll do more complex stuff in a minute. So we start left is top 0, then time 1 second, and left is 100. Then time 2, and top hasn't changed. Why is this so hard to express? Time 2 seconds, because this will create a tween from here to here. which means we'll slowly... Okay, I kind of like that. Okay. So... then time 4,000. Top is 0. Left is 0. And time is 3,000. Left is 0. And time is 4,000. I need these to line up properly. So it just needs to be double. Mm-hmm. 3,000. Left 100. 4,000. Everybody's back to normal. So there should be... Okay, so that's the input. And then we want the output to be this. First one is a tween prop left start 0 and so we want like start time and start val. Sure, we might not use all this information, but that makes sense to me. Start time 0 and time it's in all, left is in all of these, right? Yeah. So end time 1,000, start val 0 and val 100, comma. Property top, start time 0, end time 2,000. And then prop left, start time. So from 1,000, let's do all the left ones first, actually. Start time 1,000, end time. Okay, so there's... Who wants to format it like that? Which plugin do I have that keeps swooshing it all together like that? Prettier takes care of it when I save it. Thousand, 3,000 from 0 to 100. And from 3,000 to 4,000. From 100 to 0. And then top just has 2, right? From 0 to 2,000 and from 2,000 to 4,000. All right, chill. And then what I want is I want to give this is going to be an intermediate data structure that I use to determine, like, the actual input output here is I pass in a time and it tells me the current value of all of the properties, and that I'll eventually need an easing function and all sorts of stuff. So I've sort of coded myself into just like making an animation engine, but I think that was going to be necessary anyway. I think having low-level access to, even if I end up moving to whatever Green Shoes or whatever the hell that one we were looking at earlier is, even if I end up doing that later, this is having this low-level understanding of the animations is going to let me really simply build a do an FFmpeg filter graph for this stuff, such that I can use this data to composite a video stream, which is what Streamplace is all about, in addition to like doing just regular web pages, like making Cranky Kong go back and forth across the page right now. Cool. I don't have a break screen yet. I need to use the facilities. Let's just go back to the countdown for a minute. Nah. What am I doing? I'm like in OBS, like I'm not making a thing that makes overlays. My goodness. Cool. Be right back. I don't know if you can see it. I don't know if it's getting lost in encoding, but I'm going to zoom in on it here. There's a... I don't know what electron bug, but there's a cranky-shaped ghost right here. I think that's the shadow property on Electron's browser window API. I don't know. I can't delete this BRB because it's behind the BRB. There it is. I can see it through the hole of the B there. All right. All right. I'm only going to be live for another 45 minutes or so. I'm really happy with this animation stuff. I think it's going to be, I think it's a good idea. I think it's going to be, I think that having all of this as a sort of first-class part of Streamplace is going to help us to target a lot of platforms really well, because this is a totally declarative, platform-agnostic way to define animations that can be readily interpreted in a lot of different contexts. But it's really boring, and I don't want to just do that for the rest of the stream. Something I need pretty badly, as illustrated by this, is a countdown timer. And so I'm going to make a countdown timer component now. I'm going to stash all the work that I've been doing, or maybe just do a temporary commit, and we're going to make a countdown timer. What I'm using right now is literally an entire embedded web page in OBS, which I then like crop like so. Oh, that's me. And make huge. Not my finest work, but it did work to get a countdown timer going earlier today. We're gonna rip off. I really like this the way this looks, and we're gonna rip that off wholesale. But we're gonna do it in the. So let's put that up in the corner so we can look at it. Countdown timer. I really, so we want like countdown to. So all right. Commit often. I'm actually gonna hide cranky for a little bit because we're gonna be doing some stuff at the bottom. No, I'm not. I'm just gonna move this up. Cool. Please, just pre-commit hooks. Yeah, no, it's not. That's not what we're here for today. No verify. Cool. All right, countdown clock. We want it to look like this thing that I've embedded in the corner with OBS. Let's just make it. Make a new file. Not you. This is going to interact with the eventual time stuff. So I'm setting up all that animation stuff such that later on we're going to be like do time travel on animations, so we can animate something forward and then rewind it, and then I can embed that stream somewhere else and like play it at double speed. It's going to be really cool. And that'll interact in a really interesting way with the countdown timer, because when we are time traveling, that'll go backwards too. So neat. Countdown.js. So this is going to be a few things. Years, days, hours, minutes, seconds. I kind of want to... I almost have to do this without a library because reasons. It's like a number and a label. Oh. Everything should be pixels in this universe, I think. It's a very... I don't know. $600. All right, let's make it look nice first, and then I'll make it count down. So actually, each one of those, it sure looks like each one of these is a subcomponent, right? Like you got a year's thing and a day's thing and a. So we'll call that count box. This is one thing I got good at teaching some of the curriculums at the JavaScript boot camps that I do. I'm much better about inline stateless functions like this. So that's one of the count box, and then the count box is props, and we're a count box styled. And then a number, and that's props.number. Looks like those are numbers. I should actually make a monospaced font. Monospaced? Monospace? I think monospace, if I remember right. Should I, where do I handle left padding? I think I just want to pass numbers into these count boxes, so I should handle that here. Okay. And class countdown extends component. Return a layer. With a bunch of count boxes. So we've got label, years, number, 0 for now. Width 4. What are you mad about? Layer has no close. Oh yeah, these are self-closing. Okay, and then app.js. And countdown to, should be a date, new date, Jan 15th, 2017 at 13 o'clock. Wait, 20, that's in the past. What am I doing? I was like, let's pick a time way in the future. 2017. 2067. Does this work? Node. Yes, it does. Great. Okay. I feel like something should have shown up somewhere. Am I wrong? Am I totally off base there? There should be like a... Yeah. It's an empty div. What? What am I missing here? Export. Export default. Why is this even this? There it is. Export default class countdown. There we go. Yeah. Color should be customizable, but white. Yeah, that looks kind of nice. It's way too bold of a font, though. I don't actually think, I for some reason thought, oh, that's bold. It's not. Make this capital. Years. Let's just move this. Put it by the other one. All right. There it is. Wait, that's not right. Oh, the layer needs to be... Yeah, this is where I need to start thinking about flex layouts and stuff. But for now... does this work? I'm like... All right. Yeah. That's better. Does this work? I don't think it does, but... Hey, that did work. Okay, cool. Should I make these things my text thing? Let's see what that looks like. From text. I guess because they're all position absolute then. Perhaps not. Perhaps that is not the play. I'm just gonna steal your here. Export const shadow. No, 50. Yeah, okay, it's a little more legible maybe. It's a little blurry. Oh, it's white. Size color. And then here we're like, this is how CSS helper functions work. Yeah, there we go. That's legible. Let's make everything a smidge bigger. Cool. Actually, this is much too large. The labels are too big. The numbers are good. The labels need to go down to like 40. Yeah. Okay, we're getting somewhere. Can I make this even lighter? The labels are good. Can I make the what's the latest Fira code I have? Oh, I didn't even make it light at all. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, I like that. Maybe a little more padding between... Yeah. Good enough for now. Let's make it work. And put something blank behind it so I can actually see it. Cool. Okay, now we need to actually count down to something. Let's look at the date object. I don't want to like use moment just for, it's not a good reason to introduce that dependency. MDN, whoa, come back. Oh, I don't know. This is going to be kind of a pain. Nah, let's just do the math. Let's just do the dang math. So, what do we got here? Let's get rid of the other one. Happy with how that looks now. And... oh, it's way better. Way better. Should be there. Yeah, there it is. Okay. So all I need is get time. And I need to re-render myself. Let's be really aggressive about it for now. Component will unmount Can you just give me a bunch of helper text? I'm gonna be like nonsensically update twice as 10 times a second. You should just do a set animation frame, actually. This is going to be a lot of math to do every frame, but, you know, what you gonna do? Then I can put milliseconds in too, which I love doing. Yep. Ah. Go is not defined. Sure. Nice. Negative. I did it backwards. This one's going to be larger. Okay. Now, I've done this a couple times. So this is a difference in milliseconds. Nice. Bring it over to the left a little bit more. So the way I did this before is just continually pulling this back. Is that timing right? Now, some might say, you don't need to do more math than that on every frame. Them I'd say, paid a bunch of money for this computer. I should be able to do a bunch of divisions 60 times a second if I want to. Oh yeah, I can hear its fan going pretty good. 1,000, 60, 60. Another 60. Four. Day. Am I right so far? I'm getting sec, min, hour. Seems right so far. Is this right? Friggin' leap years. I don't think I can determine this because leap years. So this will be somewhat inaccurate over long distances. That's alright. Huh. So ours is getting set properly. What's left here? I'm doing my math wrong somehow. Yes, yes. Thank you. What's left here? 4311. That's the number of hours between me and the date. I'm doing this right. I'm just screwing up the maths in place. Yep. That's the trouble. I had it. There it is. Cool. I am happy with that. Cool. That'll be really nice. All right. Let's leave it going though. That wraps up. We'll get that committed, but let's next time. When's it gonna be? Well, let me tell you. It's gonna be Tuesday. Tuesday the 21st at 4 p.m. So here we go. Tuesday 21st. Wait, 21st? That doesn't seem right. No, 14th. Tuesday the 14th at 4 p.m. 2017. 16 o'clock. Nan. Love it. UTC -8. Doesn't like that. PST. Ah, come on. Stop logging things. Wait, where's all this getting logged? Oh. Layers children. Yeah. Okay. Cool, much better. What? Invalid date. Oh, months are important. There it is. It's not even right. 14th. Yeah, there we go. Just 3 short days till our next stream. That's cool. That's cool. I'm going to use that a lot. All right. Thank you for joining us, everybody. So far, I've built a lot of interesting things. A lot of things that are going to be used for a lot more than what might meet the eye right now. Yeah. See y'all next week.